All right, what's up, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? Okay, so let's see here. All right, how's everybody doing? Sorry, I was just snacking on some food. Welcome to the Punk Rock Review. Normally, I wouldn't cover or talk about a person like this. I didn't give much coverage to the anti-flag situation. But the longer I do this and the larger the platform gets, the more I find that it's important to hold people accountable for their behavior. And for that reason, I am going to cover this story. It's interesting because I don't like this music much, but people like this need to be put on blast. They need to be talked about. What's up, Alex? Yeah, it is a stream, and you are here, so I don't know what you mean. That's a weird one, buddy. Um, so yeah, for anybody that's not familiar with Ian Watkins, this giant piece of garbage was the singer of a band called Lostprophets. They were like a late '90s. I think they went all the way through the 2000s. Even they're like a new metal-ish, hard rock, dad rock, butt rock type band, right? To my understanding, they were pretty big. And he was, here, I'll just pull up the Wikipedia page on him. Let's see, he was sentenced to 29 years imprisonment in 2013 for multiple offenses. I don't know what I can say without getting myself pulled. Hold on one second. Let me double check something real quick. Sorry, give me one second. What's up, Chris Murphy? How you doing, man? All right. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's what I missed. Okay, here we go. Sorry, technical difficulties real quick. There we go. Save that. Go back here, and we are back. My apologies, everybody. Richie, what's up, G? No, I don't know that I ever knew any of their music, to be honest. I only heard about them because of this terrible person. So he abused young people. I don't know how else to say it. You guys know what I mean. Including those as young as infants. He was in possession of child and animal material. His bandmates disbanded shortly before his trial. I guess they were trying to see if they could go on without him. Maybe, I don't know. I feel bad for the band if this is something he almost certainly hid. You know what I'm saying? But like, dude, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So let me go down here to the. Okay. Watkins' abuse and misconduct with the wee ones was reported as early as 2008 to South Wales Police, though the authorities repeatedly failed to act upon any of the leads. That's incredibly gross. This included both SA and giving drugs to youngsters, including white powdery substances. Watkins, I cannot believe we have to censor like this. I can't even talk about like a criminal case without being like shadow banned, essentially. Watkins' former bandmates said they were unaware of his conduct with the little ones, as his narcotics use had begun to cause heavy strain on his relationship with them. Watkins had requested his own private dressing room away from the other band members, where much of this allegedly took place. Watkins had also chose to minimize personal contact with most of his bandmates. That's red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Dude, that's insane. An ex-girlfriend of his recalled him possessing graphic images involving little ones and drug paraphernalia as early as 2010. Appalled by the content, she made multiple complaints to South Wales Police, though little action was taken at the time. She was one of 6 people who had spoken to the police regarding his conduct from 2008 to 2011. In 2010, an Australian woman accused him of harming her child. though the allegations were not investigated any further by authorities. Again, dude, what in the world? People can go to the police and say this stuff and they don't do nothing. I can't even talk about it. Like, that's insane, dude. Wow. Wow. During the recording of the band's fourth studio album in 2009, his ex-girlfriend was made aware by Watkins that he was abusing... Oh, my goodness. I don't even know how to say this. 24 months of age in California whilst the band was recording in LA. The ex-girlfriend contacted the child's parents, who had also reported him to the authorities. What in the world? Though again, no further action was taken to investigate the matter. Dude, what are we talking about? How can you have multiple people go and multiple times bring this up and they just ignore it? Like, I genuinely don't understand that. Like, I'm just confused at this point. Like, how does that even happen? Dude, even if you told me, like, hey, this is happening, I have no proof of it, I just suspect it, I'm gonna go and investigate. That's insane. What's up, Lewis? As someone who came from the scene he did, his getting sent down messed up a lot of people's lives who were directly connected. Guy was human garbage. Facts, bro. Rest of the band were based in LA. He moved back to Wales to camouflage his behavior. Ugh. Richie, what's up? Richie says censorship on all platforms is absolutely ridiculous, and how you have to use different words to talk about what the news is reporting. It's crazy. Absolutely, dude. I can't even talk about a actual thing that actually happened within, like, pop culture without being, like, penalized for it. And what little money I get out of this, which, let me be clear, it's pennies, is taken from me. Ridiculous. But we will march on. We will continue to do this. Ryu, what's up, G? If I was in a band member with someone who did this, I don't even know if I could play music again. The amount of guilt I would have, I don't even know what I would do with myself. Dude, thank you. Now, that is the proper reaction to even an accusation like this. Man. Watkins was first apprehended in June of 2012 in connection with various narcotics charges, and he was granted bail shortly afterwards. Watkins had already attracted attention from Welsh law enforcement after several friends reported that he was regularly smuggling white powder and, glass shard powders from LA. He was arrested again on November 4th for possession and a separate allegation that he possessed an obscene image of a wee one. He pleaded not guilty to the charges of possessing explicit material shortly after being granted bail yet again. What in the world? He performed his final show with Lostprophets on November 14th of that year in Newport, Wales. He was arrested for a third time on December 17th in 2012 on another narcotics possession charge. South Wales police immediately conducted a search of his home and computer in connection to the prior investigation. During the search, officers discovered numerous indecent images of wee ones stored on his computer. That's incredibly gross. That makes I don't even like talking about this. But it needs to be talked about, and these dudes need to be embarrassed. They need to be put in prison, and then this needs to happen to them. We're going to get into that in just a second. On December 19th, 2012, Watkins was charged at Cardiff Magistrates Court with conspiracy to engage in SA with a 1-year-old girl and possession and or distribution of indecent images of little ones and extreme animal corn. He was remanded in custody, as were 2 females who stood co-accused. What? How can women do that? Bro, people are so disgusting. Watkins, barrister, I don't know what that is, said that Watkins would, lawyer maybe, said Watkins would deny the accusations. On December 31st of 2012, he appeared at Cardiff Crown Court via video link from HM Prison Park in Bridgend and was remanded in custody until March 11th of 2013. The case was adjourned until May, with the trial date set for July 15th of that year. At a hearing on June 3rd, he denied all charges via a video link. Yeah, of course he would. But dude, sorry, buddy. Sorry, piece of garbage. Man, you touch one of my children, even in like a... You walk up and go, hey man, a little too much. We're going to have problems. Pat my kid on the back a little too much. We're going to have some issues, dude. On June 6th of 2013, it was announced that the trial would start. Okay, let's see. Who cares about all that? Let me get over here. Let's see. So, okay. I said, okay. Wow. On a phone call. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, I'm just going to read this. I'm sorry, guys. On June 6, 2013, it was announced that the trial would start on the 25th of November and was expected to last about a month. A previous application for the court venue to be moved outside of Wales was denied. On November 26, Watkins pleaded guilty to attempted grape and essay of a little one under 13, but not guilty to grape. This was accepted by the prosecution. He further pleaded guilty to 3 counts of SA involving little ones, 6 counts of taking, making, or possessing indecent images of the same little, wee people, little ones. I can't even hardly say this stuff, dude. I'm trying to come up with words that y'all will understand easily, but it's making me want to throw up. And 1 count of text message to the mother of one victim that said, "If you belong to me, so does your baby." Wow. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I missed a line of dialogue. Possessing indecent images of children, and 1 count of possessing an extreme corn image involving a act on a animal. His victims included a baby boy, and he sent a text message to the mother of that victim saying, "If you belong to me, so does your baby." That is insane. This guy is where he belongs to be right now. South Wales police investigation into Watkins, codenamed Operation Globe, required the cooperation. Whatever. Okay. Okay. A hidden drive on his laptop. Wow. Which was found to contain video evidence of his abuses. Investigators later bypassed the encrypted passwords to Watkins' laptop, noting that it read I space FUK space KIDZ space. That's all in quotes. That's insane. That's his password? Let me make sure y'all can see me. That was his password? Bro, what? What's up, Megan? I'm getting sick reading this stuff. So Megan sent me a link to this yesterday. She's like, check this out. And it was like the news story, and I just responded, good. This is insane. Okay. Oh, man. Whew. On November 27th, 2013, the day after his guilty plea had been accepted by the prosecution, Watkins referred to his offenses as, quote, mega lols in a recorded phone call to a female fan made from prison. Wait, what? He's still talking to females? What is your problem, people? A sentencing hearing was held at Cardiff on 18th December 2013. In mitigation, Watkins' barrister, Sally O'Neill, said that Watkins had no recollection of the case involving the attempted grape, but had belatedly realized the gravity of what happened after having developed an obsession, quote unquote, with videoing himself having sex. What? He was sentenced to 29 years in prison with eligibility to apply for parole in 2031 after serving 2/3 of his prison term, followed by 6 years of supervised release. His 2 co-defendants, the mother of his victims, respectively received sentences of 14 and 17 years imprisonment. Good. Hope they get the same treatment he got. The judge said the case plunged into new depths of depravity, stating that Watkins had a corrupting influence, quote unquote, and had shown a, quote, complete lack of remorse, end quote. A senior investigating officer on the case described Watkins as a, quote, committed, organized pedophile, and, quote, potentially the most dangerous sex offender he'd ever seen. In July of that year, or 2014, Watkins' appeal to reduce the length of his jail term was rejected. Good. Appeal judges said his offenses were of such shocking depravity that they demanded a lengthy prison sentence. Good. They were giving the inmates a little bit of time. Good grief. Okay, so let's see here. So while in prison, he was transferred, let's see, so he could be closer to his mom. She had a kidney transplant. Okay, I wouldn't even care. No, he doesn't get that. He doesn't get to go close to his mom. I'm sorry, Mom. Your kid's a scumbag. You shouldn't want to be close. If my child did something like this to somebody, I would never speak to them again. Dude, Hold on. Let me be very, very clear. Let me be very, 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 very clear. Very clear. If my children did something like this to somebody, I would end up in prison. This is disgusting. People like this need to be eradicated. This isn't a political thing. This is a right and wrong thing. This is insane. Wow, Lewis says Stu, the bass player from Lostprophets, who's now in Thursday, beat him up real bad for his behavior. If he'd known how far he'd gone, he would have deleted him. Probably. Caffeinated, what's up, G? You should be disgusted, my man. I'm glad you're disgusted. Megan says, I didn't know who he was until that video was about former band members in prison for horrible things. Oh, wow. Yeah, dude, he was a big piece of crap. Lewis says, I knew that prick back in the day, which shows you never know. I wonder if drugs wrecked him. Wait, you knew this guy? Wow. He went from straight edge to a full-blown junkie. That, I mean, honestly, I don't take that as an excuse for his behavior, but it could have been a contributing factor. Jack, what's up? Being a fan of bands like Red Hot Chili Peppers and reading about Anthony Kiedis and the other band members, it's hard to listen to their music now. I can only imagine. If you're a fan of this band still and you still listen to this band, do not talk to me, please. If you're a fan of Lostprophets and you're still a fan of this band, do not talk to me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your excuses because there aren't any. Okay. On October 9th, 2017, Watkins was accused of grooming a 2-year-old girl's mother from prison through a series of letters. Wow. In response to the report, a spokesman for NSPCC said, This is an absolute shamble. We're sickened. It's utterly bewildering that he could carry on grooming. It shows contempt for the children he abused and raises serious questions about supervision. By March 2018, he was back at the other prison further away from his family. Good. In March of 2018, he was found with a mobile phone. He was accused of using the phone to maintain contact with a girlfriend from outside of prison, but denied the charge, claiming it did not belong to him, but to inmates who forced him to hide it for them. Sure. He refused to give names because he didn't have any, citing fear of violent retribution. No, dude, you're going to have violent retribution anyways. A charger for the phone was also found in his cell. Watkins claims he still had received fan mail from Lostprophets fans and that the men wanted him to help them take advantage of the women writing in as a revenue stream. After a 5-day trial on August 2019, he was convicted and sentenced to a further 10 more months in prison for that charge. On the morning of August 5th, 2023, he was taken hostage by 3 inmates at the prison and shanked before being freed by prison officers. 6 hours later, police confirmed his injuries were not life-threatening, unfortunately. But then, 2 days ago, October 11th, 2025, he has died at the age of 48 after being penetrated multiple times in the prison. He was pronounced deceased at the scene after the incident had been reported by prison staff. West Yorkshire Police charged 2 men aged 25 and 43 with the, what do you call that? It did some good. They should get these guys some time off their sentence. September 25, 2025 report had found that violence in the prison had increased quite a bit since his inclusion there. I mean, whatever, dude. It is what it is. So, insane, dude. Absolutely insane. So we got BBC talking about it. 2 men have appeared in court charged with the deletion of PDF file singer Ian Watkins, who was deleted in Wakefield Prison. The former Lostprophets frontman, who was serving a 29-year jail sentence, was fatally injured in an incident at the prison. Here we go. These guys are heroes. Now, I don't know what they did to get in prison, and maybe they did some horrendous things too, but they certainly didn't do what he did. I can tell you that. I love that it was like one man of Caucasian descent and one man of African descent coming together in an act of barbaric unity to cleanse this world of just one more giant piece of garbage. I applaud you, gentlemen. Thank you for doing it. What's up, Alex? You just pop in and say Rand. My name's not Rand. My name is Randall. Randall. So you can say dude or buddy. But please don't call me Rand. I hate that. It's not my name. But what you need, bud? I'm saying that like I'm actually irritated with you. I'm not. But just like, whatever. What's your name? What you need? Wow, that's insane. So I heard that they got him in the neck. And it was like, hold on, let me see if I can find some information on that. I listened to a little tiny video on it earlier, and I was like, but let's see. His ex says she was shocked that he wasn't taken sooner, and that she wanted him gone years ago. That's crazy. Oh man. I don't know how to feel about his parents. I guess I feel for them because they probably went through a lot of pain just in general. And I don't think that you can put this on his parents, but, let's see. I was trying to find. So okay, I'll just repeat what I heard earlier, and we'll see if anybody can tell me that it's incorrect, because the person that I was listening to is somebody that I trust to bring prison news to the platform. So, from my understanding, okay, let's see. Lifers with nothing to lose. Good, getting out there and doing some good in the world. So, to my understanding, these guys were waiting for him to have, I guess, either to get out for some kind of recreation time or for them to be able to get in touch with him. And apparently the guards just kind of like unlocked the doors and let them open, and then kind of went back to what they were doing. These two gentlemen went inside and introduced themselves to him very violently. And then once, his demise had come about, they exited the cell and basically said, "Hey, there's a guy in there, and I don't know, he's really hurt really bad." "Oh no." And then the guards were like, "Oh yeah, we'll get to it in a minute." And then they let him sit there for a few minutes, probably in agony, hopefully in agony, and then went in and checked on him, and he was expired. So yeah, man, one less piece of crap on the world. Good. I have no sympathy for this guy. Think about this. This is what I think about when things like this come up. So you have this guy who, let's say he, what can we use? What word? Let's say he affected 10 people, right? It's probably way more than that, right? But let's just say for conversation's sake, it was 10 people that he abused, all right? So now you have 10 lives that are ruined, right? Let's say the likelihood of those people either having relationship problems their whole life, or possibly becoming, a predator themselves, are increased. So, like, it's just going to spread down. The action of one man could affect dozens, hundreds of people over the years, right? So, I have no sympathy for this. These people need to be eradicated. They need to be gone. If you go to the police with even a little bit of evidence, or you have another person that can corroborate your story and is reputable, like the people are reputable, right? This is when the police need to show up and like take action and like kick your door in. Not if you're Hispanic. Send them to these guys' houses. There's plenty of garbage like this all over the place. Go target these people. It makes me so upset that people had to go through this, man. Little children, like, dude, I don't even like to like discipline my kids. It hurts. It sucks. I do it. I have to. I'm their dad. But like, I hate taking their things or sending them to their room or grounding them. They got pops on the butt when they were like little to like curb bad behavior and temper tantrums and things, right? Nothing like that in ages, right? I got pretty good kids, but like even going, all right, give me the phone. I gotta take the phone for 2 days. Like whatever, right? It stings, dude. Kids are precious, man. They're awesome. Kids are. I just went bowling with my daughter, dude. That's what I did today. We went bowling. Like, Ah, what happened to him to make him like this? Oh, dude, they're the head of our government. Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real. He said Richie says they're all over the place, including in our own government. Absolutely, at the very top. Yep, 100%. Ella says, "What's so sad is that half of these MFers don't do but a weekend in jail, charges dropped." Yeah, that's crazy to me. Absolutely insane. I've had a lot of friends. So let me be open and honest and transparent. Okay, I was abused when I was a little kid, right? I had nothing to do with it. It wasn't me. I was little. It was an adult of it was an adult child of a babysitter of mine. All right. I don't let it run my life. It doesn't. I don't think about it often. I'm okay, like mentally and emotionally. I think maybe I'm not. I don't know, but like I'm okay. But I tell people that so that they can be confident that it's okay to talk about it. So if something real nasty happened to somebody, dude, go talk to somebody. I didn't. I never talked to anybody about it. I should have. At this point, I know his parents are gone. I think he's might be dead. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought about the person in a long time, and it was a nasty, nasty person doing nasty, nasty things, and it wasn't just me. At least I don't think. I can't say things. I don't want to say things that aren't like provable, but like yeah, man, it was. Yeah. I don't think about it much. I don't let it run my life. It doesn't control me. But like, yeah, dude, they are everywhere. Your babysitters, the government officials, the police, managers at jobs abuse their power. It's pretty gross, man. Pretty gross. I love all you guys. I hope you're all doing really well. This is a sad story because there's people that are victims, and I'm not talking about this guy. This dude deserves to be where he's at. Um, but there's people that are affected, and for the rest of their life, they have to think about this piece of crap. And I hope they all get to see this, and I hope they all get to celebrate. Um, and I'm not like a mean, nasty, vengeful person typically, right? But there's a line that you have to draw in your life and go, okay, where's that line at? Where do I stop being kind and start being vengeful? This is that line. You assault people, you do something to women or children. Nah, dude, I have zero tolerance for it, man. 100%, Ella. Ella says, my experience has made me an advocate for children. We're not victims, but survivors. 100%. I don't have the victimhood mentality. And if you do have the victim mentality, that's fine. You are to a degree. And you should be able to feel however you want about it. My point is don't let it control your whole life. And then get help. Go talk to people. Ian Watkins is no longer with us. Let's applaud that. All right. So we just dropped the Petty Treason EP on the channel from my label, so go check that out. Support those guys. I'm going to talk with the owner of TKO Records here in a little bit and have a podcast with him. In about an hour, the podcast with Ann Slua goes live. They're Irish punk band. Awesome dudes. Please go check that out and support that band. Yeah. My dog is being very loud. Pedro, chill, buddy. I can hear you, pal. So I'm going to go take him outside real quick, and then I'm going to get prepared for this podcast. Thank you guys for hanging out. This is just a quick little... I didn't want to make a video. I just thought a stream would be a little bit easier. So, yeah. Shout out to all the good people out there. Shout out to all the survivors and all the people that handle things like this behind prison walls. Shout out to those people. I love you guys. I'll see you on a much more positive topic real soon. I might be doing a AFI live stream tomorrow. Maybe like the zine's already up for pre-orders, Richie. I've been talking about it for weeks, buddy. It's in the web store. Bum, 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 bum. Caffeine says, I wasn't stoked about people cheering for Kirk's death. Yeah, I wasn't stoked about that either, man. I don't think that guy should have been killed. He should still be here. He wasn't this. I didn't like the dude, but he wasn't this. So, But hey, man, I love all you guys. I tell you what, man. Let me leave y'all on a much more positive note, man. Things are going good for the channel. Please, please, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you get a chance to contribute via Patreon, it is very much appreciated. And right now, it's very needed. But we've got a lot of really great content coming, so just kind of stick around and you'll see. So, all right, everybody. I'll see y'all on Wednesday. AFI full album review is dropping tomorrow, and so is. Oh yeah, dude, Anthony from Bullshit Detector, Liberty and Justice, and Concrete Elite. That podcast will drop tomorrow too. So, and then tomorrow I'm filming with Rob. I got a lot of stuff going on. So, yeah, y'all be good, everybody. I'll see y'all soon. Okay. No worries, Richie. You know I got you, big dog. You can go order one right now if you want to, and it's 40.